Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we're building a secure password generator with a twist. It also creates a QR code for easy access. So like if you're serious about security, you don't want to miss this. So let's get started. Why strong passwords matter? We all know that weak passwords are a major security risk. Hackers use brute force attacks to crack simple passwords in seconds. That's why we need long, complex, and unique passwords for every account that you have. Instead of struggling to create one manually, let's automate it with Python. Now, I'm going to show you a blog that speaks about 35 password statistics, data breaches, and password security. So, I wanted to show you these are the top 10 most common passwords that require less than 1 second to crack. These 10 here. And this is the amount of people that use them, or at least that from the people that have been either hacked or asked about their passwords. This is the amount. 59% of US adults use birthdays of their names, and I wanted to show you this. So, hackers exposed over 24 billion passwords in 2022. According to recent password hacking statistics, 1 million passwords are stolen in a week. So, yes, basically, this article highlights the importance of having a long, complex, and unique password. Now, we need to set up the project. So, first, we need to install Python. And if you haven't already, you just go open a terminal and you do this sudo apt install python 3, hit enter, but I'm not going to do it because I already have it installed and you guys will have it installed. Then after installing it, you need to install the QR code library for generating QR codes by running this command. Now that this is done, let's jump into coding. For this, we will need to open just a file, and then we can name it as a Python file. So I will save it first. So this is the on the desktop. So the first step is to import the libraries that are gonna help us build this program. So I'm going to import random, import string, and import QR code. So what this first library does is it helps in generating random characters for the password. The second library here, the string one, it provides easy access to different types of characters, so like letters, numbers, and special characters. And the final one, it's a library that allows us to create QR codes which can store text like passwords in an image format. Then I will define the name of the function that generates the password. So I'm gonna name it generate password, and this is going to take three parameters. The first is the length, which is by default 12. The second is use digits, and I'm gonna set this to true. So if the user doesn't feel specify whether they want to use digits or not in their password, then by default the program is going to use them. And also use symbols. So yeah, I have just created the name of the function. Now I am going to define the character pool. So I'm going to make variable called characters, and I'm going to assign to it this here. So what this line here does, it contains both uppercase and lowercase letters. And this means that at minimum, the passwords will contain letters. The next step is to add more characters based on like user input. So if, which stands for if true, then we are going to add numbers to the pool. So basically whatever we have on this characters variable, whatever letters there are, then we are going to append to them some numbers. And I'm going to do the same thing with symbols. So this here adds appends the symbols. And finally, I'm going to return. So I'm going to explain this last line because it might be a bit hard to understand. So this line of code does three things at once. It selects random characters, it repeats the process for the given length, and it joins everything into a single string or password. So first, okay, so this, let's start with this here. So we have this part here. So characters is the string that contains letters, numbers, and the special symbols. Now this line here, this one that I have highlighted, it picks one random character from this set. So let's say that characters has A, B, C, D, 1, 2, 3, 4, and some special characters. This here selects or chooses or picks one of those characters from that string. And then after choosing that, this line here, this loop repeats the random selection process as many times as the password length. Don't worry about this here. This is just a throwaway variable, so it's not used inside the loop. It just counts the number of iterations. So for example, let's say that by default the length is 12. So if the string here is 12 characters long, then we are going to choose 12 characters randomly. And finally, this function here takes a list of characters and combines them into a single string. And the empty string is like the glue that joins them together. Because this whole thing here creates a list of characters, but they are like separate. They are, yeah, they are. If you guys know how lists look like, you have something inside, and then you have a comma, and then you have something else on the list. But this here acts as a glue and connects them together to make the random password. Now I will add the QR code generation part. So what if you don't want like to copy paste your password every time? Let's make it even cooler by turning the password into a QR code. So first I'm going to, well, I have already done it, so you guys need to import the QR code. And now we need to define the function which will create the QR code. So I will name it generate, and this takes two parameters. First is data and the second is the file name. which will save the QR code. Okay, so now, yeah, this function creates and saves a QR code containing the password. The password, this here, the first parameter is the password that will be converted into a QR code. And the second is if the user does not like specify a file name, then the QR code image will be saved as this here, this file name here. So first we need to create the QR code. And we can do this by having a variable and assigning to it. This is how we create the QR code. We convert the given password into a QR code image. This is the password, and we make it a QR code, and we save it here in this variable. And the QR code can now be scanned by using a smartphone to reveal the password. The second step is to save the QR password. So we do this by doing QR save. See, and this saves the QR code as an image file in the current directory. And finally, we just print the confirmation that we have saved the QR code in the specified file. This, yeah, this just displays a message confirming that the QR code has been successfully saved. And yeah, this is pretty much it about this function. Now I will write the main program that will run this entire thing. So I will define the function, which is main, of course, and I'm going to skip this after like I'm fully finished writing it, and then I will show you guys what to do. The reason why I'm skipping is because like there isn't many important stuff that I need to show, like print statements and stuff, so I can just explain it after I'm done with it. So I will get back to after I'm done. Okay, so this is the main function. It is straight after the generate QR code function, and now I will start explaining it. So this is just a print statement, just for us to like have a nice output at the terminal. Uh, so this is a try. This is a try and except block. So this is used to catch errors and prevent the program from crashing if the user enters invalid input. This line here, length this here, it asks the user to enter a number for the password length. If the user presses enter without typing anything, input returns an empty string or 12. So if the user didn't enter anything, it defaults to 12. That's why I have written or 12. And then this int here converts the input to an integer, because if the user enters something that isn't a number, the program jumps to the except value error here, and this is printed out. The next line, this line here, uh, so we ask the user whether they want to include numbers in the password, and the user should type Y for yes and N for no. So what this here strip.lower function do is that they remove any extra spaces and converts to lowercase. So for example, like if the user enters a capital Y for yes, we are going to take that capital Y, but we are just going to force it on the background of the program. Like when it is running, we are going to force it into a lowercase y. And yeah, this is how it's shown in the in Linux. And this part here So if the user types N, it means that they don't want numbers. And if they type anything else like Y or press enter, then it is true. And I guess the same explanation goes for the special characters. So, and finally, we then generate the password with the length that we have, the digits and the special characters. And then we just display the password. And then we also generate the QR code for the password that we just created. And finally, we run the program down here. And yeah, now I'm going to save it and run it to show you guys how it works. So I saved it, and now I'm gonna go to the terminal, and here I'm going to, yeah, I need to go to desktop, and I need to just run. So welcome to the password generator. So enter the password length. So I want 660. Include digits, yes, and special characters, yes. Okay, there is an error. Okay, so I think I found the error, but I'm going to run this again and see if it actually works. Oh, okay, now it works. So here, guys, there was an error here at line 7 for me at least. So I was missing an A, so it was just like a typo error. So I was missing an A for characters and then it worked. So as you can see, the generated password is this one here. We have a generated password and then we have the QR code saved as password qr.png. So now if I go to the terminal, there it is. Now I cannot really, yeah, I don't think I cannot really show you from my phone. However, you guys can take your own phone and you will see the password is this exact same as the one that's over here. It's the exact same. And yeah, I hope you find this project useful. If you did, don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment down below on what you'd like to see next. Stay secure, and I'll catch you in the next video.